diff locked in. Look at it, loves it, just eats it. Oh. Your passenger's hanging on tight. Well, as much fun as this toy is, it should give you a really good visual representation of what we're talking about to help solidify that. Yeah.
Does everyone have a better understanding of the diff locks? About how that works?
I think it's worth noting as well that Sumpa's pretty much climbed a vertical cliff with his diff locks on there, and to an extent the Cruisers and the Gs will do the same thing. If you stuff up your driving and head towards a batter, it will just climb up it with the diff locks on if you're in the right terrain, and potentially then roll you over. So when you have all your diffs in, the car will outdrive your skill any day of the week. So just keep in mind that they're super useful, but use with caution.
So what are they doing here with the
Do you want to play the next video? And we'll get back to it.
Alright, power delivery recap. If anybody's not seen that video, it's really funny. The slow-mo guys, I would recommend looking them up. They're really funny. That balloon like wraps around his whole face before it pops. Anyway, on topic. Quick recap. Do not engage four-wheel drive diff locks on sealed surfaces. You're just going to damage the running gear underneath the vehicle. So you want to make sure that you're off sealed road when you do engage these things. Only engage up to 40 km an hour. It's just going to help look after all the equipment. Diff locks can take some time to engage. Like I sort of said before, like all the gears that are in that diff, they kind of got to find the right spot so they can lock in so that the wheels turn together. Sometimes they're not quite lined up and they sort of do a little bit of this and they don't quite get in where they're supposed to go. So you might just need to reverse back a few meters, drive forward a little bit, keep your eye on the light on the dash. It'll tell you when it's clicked in, and you'll audibly hear a nice big solid click when it goes in too. But the same for the front end of the wheel. That's a pretty important one. Diff locks will increase the size of your turning circle, because remember how we had that little graphic with the diffs and the big circles? If the diff lock's not in, you'll be able to sort of cut into your corner really nice, but if it's in, it's really going to feel like the vehicle just wants to go forwards instead of turn the way you want it. So try and avoid using your front diff locks when you're just driving around on normal tracks. Only when you hit a really tricky obstacle, like some of those muddy slides we saw earlier, that you want to put that front one in. Rear diff, whenever you feel like it, pretty much. When you feel like you need it. Words, talking. That's good. Alright, this is pretty obvious. In a manual transmission, when you select second gear, you're in second gear. It will not jump between first and third and fifth and that kind of thing, because if you're in a manual gearbox, you've selected second gear, it will stay in second gear. When you get into your automatics, that's when things sort of change a little bit. So, excuse me, drive is pretty much 1 to however many gears are in the gearbox, 1 to 5, 1 to 7. I think some of the new cars have got like 8 gears in them now. If you just try and full drive in just D in low range, it's going to go through that whole range of gears, and it's going to be doing a lot of shifting and adjusting the speed. But if you lock it into, say, second gear with your Tiptronic gears, so that's how you sort of select the second gear, that'll be up. If you're selecting your gear, it'll be up in the dash there somewhere to tell you what gear you're in. Same as in the G-Wagon, you can sort of shift your Tiptronic up and down. If you go into third gear in an automatic vehicle, the vehicle will still use first and second as well as third. So it's just something to be mindful about. If you want to maintain maximum traction and look after the vehicle as best you can, probably just lock it into first or second if you're going to need a little bit more speed, a little bit more momentum to get through the obstacle. Definitely something to remember when you're looking at automatic vehicles. If you're in drive, it's going to use the whole range of gears, so lock in the gear that you want. Autos do tend to, I guess, get away from you or run away from you a little as you're descending a hill. They don't sort of have the same compression as a manual does, so it's just something to be mindful of. You might need to use a little bit more feathering the brakes to keep yourself safely down that hill. Sometimes it's getting worse out there. Yeah, you can always, if you lock yourself in the first gear, you can always slap it across into second if you feel like need a little bit more speed, but just be mindful that you will be bouncing between second and first. Yep. Yep, obviously there's no clutch needed in an auto because of the automatic. But yeah, the ratios are a bit different because of the different gear range that's in an automatic. But yeah, just have a play with them. If you're in a G today, just have a play with first gear, second, third, just have a play, get a feel for it. Alright, we get into some approach and departure angles now. Not quite sure where to start on this one, but we'll just get into it. So, as you can see over here in this graphic, on a G-Wagon, the departure angle, which is the way that you go over an obstacle, so if we've just driven over a rock, the departure angle of a G-Wagon is about 33 degrees, but the approach angle, so the approach angle of going up to that rock is a little bit higher, it's more like 46. So you may be able to get over that rock or that log or whatever's in the track in the way, but you could end up getting hung up on the back of your vehicle, particularly on the tow bar. If you've got the tow bar locked in, that can really extend your vehicle length and can get you hung up on things. Same as in the middle of the vehicle, that's called your ramp over angle. If a peak of a hill or an obstacle or a motocross track, for example, is too steep, you could end up getting stuck on the belly and just kind of stuck there with your wheels spinning in the air, and you need to be recovered by that stage. Definitely something you need to be aware of. Experts in, not really, but definitely an awareness of. Tyre size, wheel size, bar work, all of these things have an effect on your approach and departure angles. If you didn't have a bull bar, that would increase your approach angle. Same as if you didn't have that toe ball in there, that's going to sort of slightly increase your departure angle as well. These things are just something to keep in mind when we are bouncing around the tracks out there. Also, underneath each vehicle, which the trainers will point out to you today, there is a big pumpkin on the diffs. That's where all the gears and all those meshing parts are situated. Have a look under them today, and if you're not sure what they are, just get the trainers to point them out. It's going to be easier to show you in real life than for me to do a crap diagram like Luke's drawing on this butcher paper. Yeah.
Probably in addition, Clay, to the big pumpkin is the on the Land Cruiser, the rear suspension that hangs underneath the.
Yes, good point.
Yeah, you might have a chat about that.
Yeah. I think again it's going to be easier out there to sort of point it out, but yeah.
But they can hang up on rocks particularly, like right beside the wheels. You'll see it when you trainer shows you they can hang up on rocks really easily, and it's a real limiting factor of the Land Cruiser.
It's very easy to damage those components as well. So during pre-start checks, make sure we have a good look at them, because as we're going through the next couple of days, we are going to bump into rocks. We are hopefully not going to break any of them, but we might bend and damage some stuff, and that's why we do our pre-start checks, to make sure that our vehicles are as safe as they possibly be before we get out here and hit the hills. Longer vehicles have a much longer ramp over angle. Like I think, Yasmin, you had a Vitara, nice and short wheelbase little thing, a lot like our little remote control car there. The short wheelbase is going to be able to get to more places than a long wheelbase vehicle in certain circumstances. Yeah, I think we'll worry about that more when we get out there. It's going to make more sense. Yeah, approach angle is the front of the vehicle. What's the back of the vehicle called? What's that angle? Shout it out. Departure angle, beautiful. In the middle, ramp over. Excellent. I've just gone backwards. Tyre deflating.